Hi friends, welcome to the weekly table. I am showing you how I made 60 sugar cookies for my colleague's daughter. She is going to UW and she wanted W-shaped cookies. So to start, I made the dough. For the dough, I needed sugar, flour, 5 eggs, vanilla extract, salt, and baking powder. I started by putting the sugar in my stand mixer bowl and then adding softened butter to the bowl. Unfortunately, I forgot to take the butter out of the freezer sooner so it could soften. That comes to bite me in the butt by it taking so absolutely long for this sugar and butter to get smooth. I ended up cutting the butter up into smaller portions, putting it in that plastic bowl, and then soaking it in warm water. Just make sure no water gets in the butter. Once I whisked it enough until it was like a smoother type paste, you add in your vanilla extract and the 5 eggs. Then you turn your stand mixer back on and mix it until it's smooth and combined. This makes it very liquidy. I did get concerned because I never made a batch of sugar cookies this large before, so I was concerned it would be too liquidy, but it all comes together. I just need to trust the process more. After it's combined, I added in the salt, the baking powder, and now I'm adding the flour. This is the first time I've actually used this attachment. I definitely should have used it sooner when making my bread or bagels. Here I am struggling to lift the stand mixer because I forgot it was still in the locked position, and I thought it would be quite funny to just include me being kind of dumb. There I go, I figured it out. Just to add to me being dumb, I shouldn't have used the whisk. I think making it smooth and then adding in the eggs and stuff was fine, but I definitely should have switched to this paddle sooner. I did then realize it was easier to just kind of knead it by hand a little bit. If you can see, the bottom of the bowl still has some flour on it, so I'm just scraping that out of the bowl and I'm putting it in the rest of the dough and just kneading it by hand. Make sure you don't over knead because you could overwork the dough, and that's not what you want to do with a sugar cookie. To make it easier on myself, I divided my dough into 3 evenly portioned balls, and then I'm flattening them with plastic wrap on the bottom and plastic wrap on the top. This just makes it easier to roll it out after it's cooled in the fridge for at least an hour. When it's a dough ball, it's super dense and it's hard to flatten out without warming it up first. So I tried to get it as thin as possible. The first few times that I was cutting these cookies out, I just kept ripping the W's apart. What I ended up doing is taking my cookie dough cutter and dipping it in the flour and then cutting out the cookie. It just made it so much easier and the cookies wouldn't stick to the cutter. I ended up making about 90 cookies, so the whole baking process took me at least an hour because I baked each tray for about 10 minutes. These ones at the top were good. These ones were a maybe, and those were a definite no. Some of them were too thin, some of them were baked a little bit more, some of them were just too squished and not the type of W I want. This one is a perfect looking one. Next, I'm making the icing. It's powdered sugar, meringue powder, vanilla extract, and warm water. I poured the warm water into my stand mixer, and I added 4 tablespoons of meringue powder. I frothed that up. After it gets frothy, I pour in a little bit of the vanilla extract and 4 cups of powdered sugar. I mix this up until smooth. Once it's smooth, I add in my red food coloring. It sometimes gets stuck to the side. Oh, that's just me wiping up some crumbs. Little messy when I bake. As you can see, I love my silicone spatula. She's out again. She really helps wiping down the sides. As you can see, this is not a good red. I need a bright fire truck red. This is more of a salmon. I didn't rectify this until after I put it all in my piping bag and then piped a cookie. This is the first cookie that I tried piping. I don't know what I'm doing. Honestly, it looks good, then it honestly just gets worse. I've not used royal icing before, so this is my first time ever using royal icing. I tried to do the flood method. I looked up things where the border needs to be thicker and then the inside needs to be thinner. Saw the tapping method. I just think my icing was too thick for this to work. Oh, look, there I go. I have slightly more liquidy royal icing, and it's that fire truck red that I want for these W's. See, perfect. It already looks so much better. I did keep accidentally bumping the cookie, so she's kind of moving around the screen. But I was in love with how this looked. I still did the taps, trying to get some of those away. As you can see, it worked perfect. These are all 90 of them done. At this point, I broke a cookie at every single stage. I broke one baking it, I broke one icing it, and the other time I iced them. I didn't have enough time the first night, so I had to ice them over 2 nights. I am wrapping these individually because it's easier for people to take it and go to the next party if needed. I put an ingredients label on the back, and I put the weekly table sticker on the front. Now, I could have made the weekly table sticker a little bit smaller. It's kind of hard to see the cookies, but I wasn't sure on what the correct size was. In the ingredients label, I could have added that it may contain nuts since it is homemade. I had extra cookies, so I ended up giving her 6 extras. Thank you so much for watching and following along my journey for baking the most amount of cookies and trying almost everything for the first time. Bye!